to date, all have proven ephemeral. In the year 1572 of the sixth and most recent astral era, the Northern Empire of galore amassed a great army at the heart of Eorzea, seeking dominion over all. Rising in desperate resistance, the forces of the Eorzean alliance met their would-be conquerors in the field. Yet, even as the battle raged, the lesser moon, galore, was plucked from the heavens through imperial machination. From its core emerged the elder primal Bahamut, who unleashed his fury upon the realm. The devastation brought Eorzea to its knees and the era to its end.
Greenest.
You're greenest.
Character. Yes.
Become green. The green.
Look how green I am.
That is so green.
I'm very green.
Hello, hi, and welcome to today's episode of Let's Rant with me, your host, Pyro Goeth Nico.
And me, Pathos, the art of persuading people through negative comments.
Hello.
Hello.
So, my co-pisticker, what are we ranting over today?
Today we are looking at Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn.
Yes.
And I know next to nothing about this.
Come follow me, I'll tell you where you need to go.
Then I was looking at one of the characters before. She's supposed to be a grown woman. She looks like she's 11, and they were doing cleavage shots, and it was creepy.
Well, I not that I can really mark. As you can see, I am playing a female character. I always tend to in these sorts of things. So, which we mentioned in our not.
Have their jiggling or
you have to admit though, I do look damn good in this. But actually, I might change. I might change class into something a bit more. There you go. I'm gonna become I've just bought some new clothing for my white mage. Look at that.
Oh, very nice. I'm going to change to my greenest.
Well, you're greenest.
Character. Yes.
Become green. The green.
Look how green I am.
That is so green.
I'm very green.
That is awesome.
That's green. Things. So I chose everything that was green.
Here you go. Let me give you some protection for the green. That just sounded so wrong. Right, okay, I'm going to show you where this, where the Marauders Guild was. Yes, follow me, my dear boy. So yeah, there you go. So we're already on the tangents. You know, good lord, before we even start, we haven't even thought about what our drink along a rant's going to be today.
Every time you see inappropriate touching on a Japanese game.
Oh, good lord, I think I'm going to be absolutely hammered. But as this is a game I find to I absolutely addicted to this game. I love it. It's great class, beauty and elegance. I'm drinking something with equal smoothness. I think I can drink all day and just tickles me deep inside, ever so close to the perineum, and that will be the 12-year-old Highland Park. Very smooth. So that's why I'm hoping that there's not going to be too many opportunities.
A drop of lime.
Respect. So yeah, I'm glad you were actually you were very. I was going to be really pedantic when you said we're playing A Realm Reborn. So I thought you'd just say we're playing Final Fantasy XIV, and then I'll ridicule you because you're wrong.
No, I read the blurb. There was a bad game, and now there is a game that is less bad. Yes,
we had a game with bad touch, but no, we now have a much better game. It's a shame actually. We were hoping to have a third mystery guest today. But unfortunately he couldn't join us, but he, like myself, did play the older version, which was Final Fantasy, the original Final Fantasy XIV. I don't think I have a code thing, it was just Final Fantasy XIV. And it was good, in the sense it was pretty, it was even prettier than this. And but the formula of the game was broken, fundamentally broken. You couldn't actually progress past the level 6 story mode for me. I just wouldn't progress. There'd be NPCs you couldn't talk to, or they wouldn't reply, so you can start missions. There'd be areas you couldn't go through because there'd be like there'd be like an invisible wall, but there shouldn't be, and you actually had to get past it to once again activate the missions. The entire thing failed miserably, which was a shame.
Absolutely awful.
It was a cock up of most epic proportions, which I find shocking for Square Enix, especially their flagship. I mean, this is Final Fantasy. I mean, Final Fantasy XI, the predecessor to this, was a game I became heavily addicted to. I wouldn't say how many hours I played that game for, because you couldn't count it in hours. You had to count it in months and days, so, which isn't good.
So what happened to 12 and 13?
Well, it's 12 and 13.
11 was the
well, that was 12
online game.
Yeah, you had 12 was on the PS3. Wasn't 12?
So it wasn't a massively multiplayer one. I thought.
No. I think
ever
Final
since 11 it had all been.
No. Final Fantasy 12 was, I think it was with Van, and it was the one. I think it was the second one on the PS3.
Well, it was Look at me jump.
Look at you. Ooh, you're so dreamy. Wow, you can actually jump really high.
Look at my blonde tail.
As you have a very big tail.
I'm a cat person with a Labrador's tail. Love it.
Crikey, that's a little one. Oh, the recording's gone terrible. Right, you lead the way, my friend, because I'm helping out today. Sort of power leveling as we go.
Right,
so
okay,
you want to go to the next city, don't you?
Yeah, I want to just go to the next city. I just wanted to make sure I had. That's probably something you should mention as one of the key mechanics in this game, is you can be every class.
Yes. Yes.
Thing, and I am that's what tickles me the most, and I now just want to collect classes. I don't particularly care about anything else at this point. I just want to be everything. I've
already done that, and but you're right. There's been ranting about all the previous Final Fantasies, but no, today we're ranting about this one as a game I could rant about for a very long time indeed. The beauty of this game, I find, is that as you say, it's one of the only. Or it's the only MMORPG which I know of where you can change your class. You're not stuck with who you are. Lead the way, my co-host taker. I think you have to change back to your other class though if you want to get back in the ship.
Oh yeah, probably, but I just want to put some clothes on.
Yeah,
I'm not normally this modest, but I think he looks better with clothes. He's one of those rare people who actually look better dressed.
I would, you know what? I don't think I look
You've
that
not
different.
got an answer to that.
I don't. You know what? For the first time ever, I'm speechless. I'm just trying to think. Do I have a class which has no clothes? I don't think I do. We go. Boom. There you go. There's me without clothes on. And you have to admit, the graphics on this is very pretty. You must admit, I do have a big hard sword.
There.
Is there? Oh, yeah. Good one. You have to admit, the shadowing for an MMORPG is impressive. Wait, come back! I'm going to change back. Yes, this is a Japanese going through and through, isn't it? So yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've seen. I can't remember the name of them. But there's one about dating and stuff, and it's shown on one of my friend's channels, and literally he gets hundreds of hits because it's got the word "sex" in the title, and and that's the name of the game. It's how to date in Japanese game terms, and it's misogynistic to a fault.
Exactly. Well, my last video, which might I add, I had to do solo.
I'm very sorry.
Thank you. Was of course my love and passion for Japanese games, the sort of story games, and how there aren't enough of them. So this is a game which our friends Magna Carta. What's this YouTube channel called?
Bad Karmas.
Bad Karma, that's it. That was Magna Carta. Bad Karmas, yes. I'll have to check out whatever game he's playing. I must admit, I do see it pop up, but I haven't actually. It's never been work saved, so I haven't actually checked it out yet.
No, some of the videos do get quite aggressive towards pretty much everything.
So yeah, I've been kind of waiting back on that one. So once again on the tangents. So yeah, this is, as I said, the advantage of this game is you split. You get two different kinds of groups, as it were, and then each one has their own subgroups. So you've got the sort of fighting classes, which are broken down into the arts of war and the arts of magic. And so in the arts of war, then it breaks down to your sort of the Marauder, which is the class you just picked up, the Lancer, who you are at the moment, the rogue, who I was at the beginning there, the gladiator as well, and the pro something I can never pronounce. It's pretty much a monk. It's a hand fighting person.
A pugilist.
Pugilist, thank you.
An old term for boxer.
Oh, very well done. There you go.
Think of people who used to bare knuckle box. They were more commonly called pugilists. Well, by the pod.
Oh, look at me, I've gone invisible.
They were called prize fighters. But oh, you are invisible.
Oh, ninja! Here I am.
Are you up that guy's crack?
Because he paid me a lot of money. So there's your fighting classes. So where are you going? Aren't you meant to be going to the airship? No. And then of course you
find the lift.
Fail. And then you've got your magic classes, which are the Conjurer, which is kind of like your white mage, the Thaumaturge, like your black mage, the Conjurer, not Conjurer, what's the summoner one called?
There's the Arcanist.
The Arcanist.
I do have an Arcanist.
Yeah, Arcanist, which is like the summoner, and then you have, I think there's just the 3, isn't there? You can say that I haven't actually. We've only been just started playing this game. We're going New Dawn, aren't we? Okay.
Well, there's 3 starting areas, aren't there, really? And each one's got 3 classes.
Yeah, so which class you pick dictates where you start. And then as the game progresses, when you get to about level 15, you can go to the other classes and pick up the other cities, and you can pick up the other classes. And the best thing is that by changing your main weapon, you become that class, and that class levels up independent to all the other ones. So at the moment, on my Conjurer, I'm doing a bit of healing and that sort of stuff, which I'm level 16, 17 I think at the moment, but my main class, the Rogue, you saw at the beginning, I'm level 26, 27 because I've been playing that the most. But if I get bored, I might try a bit of magic.
Do I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm sure this isn't the first game that's done that.
No, Final Fantasy XI did that.
Puzzle out Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Because I knew there was something where you had a character level and class levels.
Yeah.
And so you could level your classes independently to your character level.
Oh no, I suppose
theoretically,
Skyrim did that, didn't it? In the sense of, the more you used a skill, that skill got better. And of course, my favourite game, Dying Light, had to say it, Take a Shot, does the same in a roundabout kind of way. Are you in the city yet?
I honestly don't know where I've just gone.
Oh, there you are. No, you're going to magically appear behind me any second now.
Oh. I'll try and be gentle. Loading.
No.
Loading.
Oh,
loading.
And as you're thinking loading as in a loaded question or loaded statement. Put my tail aside. There you are. You here yet?
I'm here.
There you are. Hello.
I'm going to go and talk to this person.
You do that.
Yes, welcome to... Oh, is this the land of deserts and... something else?
Yes.
Deserts and rats.
Deserts and rats. Desert rats. Jeez. Oh yeah, so there you've got all the fighting classes, and then after that you've also got your crafting classes, the art of the field or whatever it's called. And with that you get field workers. Yeah, and with that you get miners, botanists, cooks, fishermen, leather worker, armor worker, blacksmith, alchemists, goldsmiths, and once again each one has their own sort of particular tool. And you want to go down to the Ruby Exchange.
Oh, I've gone to the other place.
You're going to say, okay, I'll come join you there.
I don't know what the other place is. What is the other place?
Well, you've gone down to like the middle floor, and then the other one's like the ground floor, which is where most of the classes are. But here we better get the gladiator one for you. So follow me, my friend.
I want to be a gladiator. I want to be Russell Crowe and cry over dead people.
I want to cry in my shoes. No, enjoy that. But yeah, you want to. Oh yeah, so and I also once again just say you got your particular tool like a frying pan, that's your cook class, and once again the more you cook stuff, the more that levels up, and the better recipes you can unlock. And I've actually found that kind of intuitive and very sort of satisfying.
I've not started doing it. I've picked up a botanist, but I've not actually started botanizing.
I'm taking to the weavers here first. And then we'll work our way around. I've done a bit of leather work, and I've really gone to cooking. Cooking's good. Only because if you eat food for 30 minutes, you get an extra 3% EXP. There's actually kind of a quick and easy way of getting a few extra experience points.
Yeah, a little level boost.
yeah, it's good.
What are
so,
we doing here?
oh, I'm waiting for you, aren't I? So, the kind and generous that I am. So yeah, that's the sort of class in a nutshell. And then you see from the bottom of my screen, you get the usual bottom left. You've got your hit points, magic points, TP, your sort of task points. Mages use magic points. Fighters, you tend to use TP. You have, for me, because I'm using a joypad as I play the game, I have all my hotkeys, but you see all the different spells. For me, because I'm a white mage at the moment. So it's a very similar layout. If you've played any MMORPG such as Guild Wars, which is another one I'm very fond of course World of Warcraft, it will all be very, very familiar. And the I won't say the ethos, but the concept is the same. You know, you have your character, you fall in love with them, you go out and do lots of adventures, you try and make lots of friends, and you just try to level up your character as much as you can, raid, get nice shiny things, just, you know, it's exactly, it'll be like preaching to the choir, trying to explain an MMORPG, I think. But in that sort of sense, it's all the same. It's been done to death, and
the twist which makes it new and special.
Exactly, and I think for me, I think the twist would be that, one, it's a Final Fantasy game, and if you're a big fan of the Final Fantasy games, it's like if you're a fan of the Aliens game, like Aliens, you get lots, you know, you enjoy alien stuff. If you like zombies, you tend to gravitate towards zombie games. I like Final Fantasy. I love the characters. I like the chocobos. I like the feel of a Final Fantasy game. Then you won't be disappointed. This feels like a Final Fantasy game should be, you know, in that sort of sense. Also,
there are bits where I've gone, oh yeah, that's Final Fantasy, but I must admit, maybe I just don't like change.
Yeah,
Seven
that's true.
was the ultimate Final Fantasy game for me.
Course.
I played the earlier ones; that were fun, but Final Fantasy VII, that had the gritty drama that made it. Ooh, that was fun. And then 8 was all right.
I enjoyed 8.
Had the lovely tongue-in-cheek humour and things in it, which was fantastic, and I enjoyed that.
I think for me, 7 was the pinnacle. If I could, yeah, if for me, what I'd have, if I could have it, I'd have it look like Final Fantasy X, have the story from Final Fantasy VII, have the comedy or the sort of tongue-in-cheek of Final Fantasy IX, and have probably the gunblade from Final Fantasy VIII.
Well, I think Final Fantasy VIII was just very good.
It was just a good game. I'll have to. I find it very hard to pick a favourite, because if I had to, gun to my head, it would be between 7 and 8, and I would change depending on what day you asked me on.
Yeah, whether the sun was shining or not.
Exactly. I think.
I mean, Squall from 8 was the moodiest, most teenage, angstiest emo character ever.
But Renault was fit.
I just liked Cloud because he'd been heavily brain damaged, and it
and I related to that for some reason. But yeah.
Cloud, and I've got no brain. Oh.
Oh, angst. But yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right. 8 was full of angsty goodness. I think also, I find the characters.
I enjoyed 10 mostly for the minigame, you know.
Yeah, if they brought out just that minigame by itself as like an Android game, that'd be awesome. I'd even pay for that. Yeah, because it is the sort of thing you could play on your tablet.
Yeah,
it'd be much better than a lot of the minigames you get at the moment. But yeah, so I have to admit, so yeah, for me, as I said, the twist world, it does feel like Final Fantasy. It's not Final Fantasy as Final Fantasy could be, but when you think that it's hard, Final Fantasy is all about that linear story, which you can't really do in an MMORPG to such a degree, although I do think it does a better job of it than, say, World of Warcraft. Because with this, you do have that kind of main story which you can progress through, and then you've got all the other side stories to fill in the gaps. But then I do feel like there's a bit more of an underlining meaning of being here and a feeling of the world evolving around you. So yeah, for me it's the fact that you can change classes. Because I get so bored. I get so bored of that being the same character all the time. I pretty much change character every day,
performing the
and
same
I love
moves
that
again and again and again.
And I don't want, but I'm in love, genuinely in love with my character. I mean, she's, you know, I want her to be the best at everything, and she's gorgeous. And look at that. I mean, Vogue. So yeah, I do have that sort of stance. Right.
Pop it and lock it.
Pop it and lock it. Here you go. I can pop and lock it. And let's see what the dance. So yeah.
I kind of something I noticed before was when I was in the pirate place. I was thinking, oh Jesus, is this what the Japanese think of pirates? They all are from the West Country.
Alright.
Yeah. Oh. I first loaded into that place. I was like, oh my God, it's full of farmers. Nothing against farmers. I'm sure they're
no,
lovely,
well, you have to be a farmer to plough the open waves, don't you? Sorry, that was just the worst joke. I'm gonna have to take a shot for that as well. Here we go. Let's find your next skill. It was bad in a bad way. But yeah,
where's the thaumaturge has got to?
Thaumaturge is outside. So we want to be. Let's just go this way. Where have you gone?
I'm over here.
Come this way. Follow me.
Okay.
We'll just wander aimlessly till we find it. So yeah, for me, I'd say I have a great passion for this game. I really, I really enjoy this kind of thing. So, but I am a bit more of a veteran. So I played, I played 11 and all the other things. But what about you? I mean, do you enjoy this game? Is this what the
Yes and no.
Okay.
To be blunt,
Well,
there are bits of it where when I first started playing, I had that lovely buzz of wow, I'm a lancer. Let's, the spear guy. Let's learn how to do lancy things and stab people with a spear. And that was cool, and I kind of got into it. But it has got the whole leveling grind of almost every other MMO.
Yeah.
That I know. I'm going to try and convert you to play Star Trek Online because there's nothing more fun than flying around in space, blowing up Borg.
I must
it's
admit,
repetitive, but it's pretty.
I do want to try because I am a fan of the Star Trek universe, not as much as I am, I'd say, Star Wars or obviously Final Fantasy and things like that. But it is, it does look like an awesome game.
The online game was fun.
Exactly, and it is kind of that is perfectly put in because it brings up my next point, something I did want to say. Now, this game is one of the few. Like World of Warcraft and the other sort of bigger MMORPGs, where you have to pay a monthly subscription. Now, in a world where not only do you get a huge selection of free MMORPGs such as Star Trek, Star Wars, and games of that.
Star Wars free to play now.
Star Wars is free to play, I believe. Yeah, it must be because I've actually tried it. Rift, I believe, is going that way. I think Terra is going that way as well. And not only that, but also in one bit of it, I don't know if you'd class as AAA, but Guild Wars is a proper game you pay top dollar for. But once you bought it, once again, it's free to play. It's paid once to play.
When I played it.
No depth to it.
Yeah, I found there was no.
Is that Guild Wars 1 or 2?
It was alright. Guild Wars, I played both. When I played them, maybe it was they started too slowly for me. But...
I see that because I played both. I quite enjoyed Guild Wars 2, but it's one of those games that I play and go, hey, this is good, but I found it quite forgettable. Where with this game, I have become really hooked. And I've got that MMORPG monkey on my back again, which is a thing I haven't had since Final Fantasy XI.
The original.
Yeah, since the original. And I didn't really get it with World of Warcraft. I didn't get it with Star Trek, not such Star Wars. I didn't get it with Guild Wars 1 or 2. So I don't know what it is about these, but they just, I don't know, they just resonate well with me.
They well resonate.
They well resonate. But there does come a time when, say, it just, you do have to move on. Hopefully that won't be for a while for me. Move on. There you go. Let's go to the next place. Actually, we might actually go outside and do some fighting soon. But yeah, with regards to, might as well say that quickly, with regards to the gameplay, I mean, as I said before, it is like any MMORPG. You have your tank, your healer, you sort of work it out from there. It's very, I mean, it's hard to distinguish.
Abundance of tanks in this game. I think there's at least 3 classes that are designated in the wiki as tank.
Yeah. Oh, and that actually is the other kind of a unique thing to this, which is it also, not only do you have your class, but you get a job. Now when you hit level 30 in a particular class, for example the rogue, which is what I'm trying to get to, if you get that to level 30, and you get your lancer to level 15, you can mix the two together and go on a certain mission to turn into a ninja. You actually get a particular job that has its own skill set as well. So you can mix and match. I mean, at the moment here I'm the conduit, which is like a white mage, but in the bottom left hand corner there's actually a skill from the actually a pugilist skill, and also a oh, what's the summoner called again? But it's not a summoner.
There's the
Arcanist, thank you. The Arcanist, the pro
That's
summoner.
the one you get before.
Yeah, before you actually get summoner, which is what you get at level 30. So
That guy looks cool. Look at his big shield.
oh, the one who just run past. That's a
Yeah.
pretty cool shield. Oh, I like this person's hat. Can I have your hat? Ooh, where'd
This
you
guy
go?
looks like Elvis.
Oh, let's go have a look at Elvis.
Well,
That
no,
is-
I think from the back he looks like Elvis. From the front he looks like... I
Oh,
don't
do
know
you,
what he looks like, but he
do you
doesn't look right.
do you know what he reminds me of? Almost like the
Some
like
sort
a
of middle-
oh, you know the that film really famous, and the guy's dressed up as a emerald in the white suit, and he carries that girl across the door, and it's all famous. He throws his hat off, but that kind of
I was gonna say like an Eastern European royalty or something, you know, all
Well-
white suit and a sword.
what he's wearing though. Of course, I think he's the best man suit. This is another a fun thing in the recent update. You can actually now get married in this game, which is pretty weird but nice. Is it little things?
Hey, oh, there's the big crystal.
Oh yeah, you're,
That's
gonna,
what I was looking
you're
for.
definitely going to touch the crystal. You want to touch it in a special place.
Yeah. I am going to go and touch me a crystal.
You can go and touch a crystal,
Woo!
and then maybe we can go out and do some killing. Yeah, the one thing
I'll
I
stop farting about.
I like that as well. Oh, the we're talking about sort of going into this more gameplay side. I say it's, you know, you don't want to hammer about too much because it is just like any other one. But the two things which I have noticed is, one, this game does make it a lot easier to solo than it's certainly its predecessors, but many other games such as World
in
of Warcraft.
fact,
It
there's
has
quite
it
a few missions where you have to solo. You have to leave a team if you're
Mm.
in one. It's very
to
odd.
do it.
It's
But
a
you
little bit
also
annoying.
you also get like level quests where it's kind of like a mini quest you can get, which just gives you extra experience points if you say kill 4 of a certain thing or something. But you can keep doing it over and over again, so you can power level yourself, as it were. But also my favourite thing, which I've just started getting involved in, let's go this way, is when you reach once again you do a certain part of the story mission, you start unlocking the dungeons, and they're called duties. And you can actually register for a duty even if you're not there. So you can say, alright, I'm a rogue class, and then when the slot turns up, it will just put you in. It will come a little message saying, you know, you can join this now, just click go. And it will
I don't know
pick
if you've noticed. Well, you probably have. But the top left of my screen, we're in a party, and 2 boxes are highlighted. One says strength, and one says, I think it's mind at the moment.
yeah,
So it's like we've filled those slots in this party.
yeah, which is really nice. There we go. So let's get the old magic going. And yeah, so it really makes, you know, so you don't even have to, if you're not in a party, you don't have to be in a party. You can, it can find one for you. And what it does is it picks 1 healer, 1 tank, and 2 damage dealers, and then you just go for it, which I think is really, you know, makes it so easy. For, like, I know none of my friends are online, but I do just want to, you know, do a quick raid to get some experience points. You just can.
Yeah.
Oops,
I
I threw it in one
changed
hit.
thing, and now I've got to wait until...
No, you might as well just start hitting stuff.
Can you do that? I punched them.
Just
I punched them with my mage powers.
punch with your mage powers. What are you at the moment? You're
I'm a
the mage.
thaumaturge.
I'm gonna hit you with my pointy stick. There we go. And down.
Blizzard! Oh.
Do you even get any experience points? Actually, I don't get any experience points with these.
See if I can kill this.
It might actually be worth me coming out of the party, just so you actually get experience points. And I'll just stand around, look after you, make sure you don't do anything stupid. Do you get experience
Hey,
points?
it's injured. I honestly don't know.
I don't think you do, in the bottom
No.
left hand corner. No. So do you want to level them up for a bit? I'll come out of the party and I'll just look after them.
Well,
You wouldn't fit
got
the story.
anything that's level 15 or
Uh,
16.
I don't know. I think so. Well, level 60 is my white mage is level 16. My conjurer.
I've got my
What
Lancer,
I am at the moment.
which is my highest level debris.
Well, we've been recording for 28 minutes. I mean, we still got another half an hour. We'll go for a little meander. We can go find something a bit harder.
Yeah. Bash. I froze it and I'm running away because these things are hurting me.
Oh, that was such a
Run
cat.
away.
You're too far away for me to heal you. Yep. So yeah, if you want to become your Lancer, we can poke that giant tortoise. Let's poke him.
Oh, it didn't change me. Change me, damn you. It's changed me to an archer. I don't want an archer.
So yeah, so
There you go.
so yeah, so talking about the free game aspect of it all. Bless you. Do you think this game is worth the money? I mean, considering there are so many free
game aspect of it.
yeah, considering so there are so many free games out there, it becomes increasingly, I think, more difficult to justify.
Spending money to play a game. Yeah. I must admit that for me, no game will ever beat or ever beat City of Villains and City of Heroes Online. Those games were the nuts.
Oh, City of Heroes. Well, there's a kind of a free version of it, isn't it? I remember those actually.
Sorry?
I remember that game actually. You know? There's a kind of a free version of it. You can play isn't it the Marvel's Hero Online or DC Heroes, the DC game, which is kind of like it.
Yeah, it's kind of like it. It doesn't have the magic that made City of Heroes so fantastic.
You're right. I must admit, I did. I've tried them both. You reminded me. Thank you. I've tried them both, and you're right. City of Heroes I did much prefer. And it's probably
one of the only MMOs where I've played it all the way through to all of the end game stuff,
Really?
and just completed it numerous times with numerous characters.
I've never actually played an MMORPG to that
I
degree.
absolutely adored it. My favourite character was called Tempocalypse, and he was a superhero with the powers of ice and fire, and he had caused this by eating too much ice cream, getting an ice cream headache, while also drinking hot chocolate.
That's fantastic. Well, you can probably guess my character was Pyrogareth, and always has been, and probably always will be, because I'm not that imaginative. Oh, do you want to touch the stone? Touch the stone.
I'm going to touch a stone.
Go touch it. Touch the stone.
Touching it.
Well, yeah, I have to. My rant of this game is pretty much coming to a conclusion. All I can say, I love this game. If you're going to play, if you like Final Fantasy, like MMORPGs, I would highly recommend it, especially now that it's been fixed. I haven't had any problems with this game. It has crashed a couple of times with me, but that's my computer crashing, not the game.
I think most MMOs have the occasional glitch, don't they?
Oh, of course.
The other day I loaded into Star Trek Online and all the Klingons were invisible, which was an improvement.
Oh, I think you told me about that. There's a whole bunch of fates have opened up all at the same time. Should we go and do a fate?
Yeah, I was just looking. There's a level 12 one over here.
No, but we're near the level 11 one. There. I think should we go and do the level 11 because it's nearer.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's where I've wandered to. I was wandering in the wrong direction.
You wandered naturally in that direction. I think it's up the hill. So I do get lost.
Oh, I'm fighting the wrong thing.
Where are you?
Honestly, don't know.
You buggered off without me again. Oh, I've seen you. I can see where you are now because you're being attacked. You idiot!
This way.
Run away! Right.
Run two.
I'm trying to catch up.
So yeah. You know what? I love this about Final Fantasy. It's the dancing cactuses.
And you know, I've seen the boss one. Every now and again, you find like a level 50 monster. And I've seen the level 50 monster version of the cactus, and it's just epic. It's this huge, massive thing. It just appeared now and again. I've actually partaken in a level 50 giant turtle like fight, and it's like Attack of the Colossus. I mean, if I was to look up here and see this mountain, it almost fills up that entire screen. It's just epic. I think it's fantastic. Not being attacked.
Something
Where's
you have to do for that crestfallen merchants.
I know we've got to pick up stuff and then come back with it. All the stolen crates. But I need my tank.
Ignore the baddies and just pick up the crates.
I know you can ignore the baddies because the
I'm
baddies are attacking me.
The loot. Look at me, ninja the loot. Oh,
You
ninja.
get. But this is another nice thing. You'll find these all over the place. They're little fates. They're like missions which you don't need a party to be in. If you're there, you partake in it. It's become an increasingly common thing. It's in Guild Wars and all the other sort of new games. I think it's even in there's a Warhammer online game as well. It's in that as well.
Yeah,
but it's not you just peer up and you join in.
To say that might have been the first. No, actually, it wasn't the first one that did it. It was the first one which did it in this kind of form. But back to my absolute favourite game, City of Villains did it, and City of Heroes. They had events would occasionally happen where there'd be attacks from alternate dimensions from superheroes and villains from there. Occasionally an entire zone would suddenly flash up with, oh no, dimensional rift, and everyone would charge off, and the game would crash because they'd be trying to render so many characters on the screen at once because so many people wanted to get in on it and have fun. Which
is completely understandable.
It was hilarious. Yeah.
We did kill this guy. Punch in the face with rocks. So yeah, I mean, for me, I'm just gonna go out and say, if I'm gonna give this game a score, I'm so torn. I mean, I'm torn. Actually, I'm being torn in half. All the monsters have spawned back, and I'm dying in a big way. Running away now.
Don't die. Come over here and let me hit things.
But you can hit things all you want, but I'm dying.
I have no healing abilities. I will just punch them in the face.
You punch in the face. I have healing abilities, but they're going to run out soon. I'm so torn between an 8.5 and a 9. I don't know where to put it. I think if this game was free to play,
definitely a 9 if it was free.
It would be definitely be a 9.
And I've not really got into the story, but the cutscenes and some of the voice acting so far, just for that, I think if it was free, it would definitely be a 9.
You know what, actually, I'm going to give it a 9, but for one particular reason. Later on, I don't know if you want to have the same story mission as I will, because I start in a different city. But there's, I think it's something of the 7 Sons or whatever. But you meet this group of people. And the guy in it, there's a guy with white hair. Have you met a guy with short white hair before?
Little tiny guy with short white hair.
Not tiny, no, it's a normal sized person. But you actually hear his voice. He actually has a voice actor, and he has the worst, most stereotypical, really bad, like American film British accent. And just because
I met a bad guy in one of the cutscenes who was a bit like that. It was as if Spike from Buffy had become exceedingly camp and minced everywhere. It was really annoying.
It's almost, this voice actor is almost as if someone had tried to describe Hugh Grant. And then
if I watched it, would you touch it?
Yeah, but done by an overly enthusiastic American person. It was just like so stereotypical. It was terrible. But just because of him, I'm going to give it a 9. Just because that voice, just when I heard it for the first time, because I wasn't expecting that kind of voice, and you don't. Looking at him, you don't expect that kind of voice from him. It's almost looking like it's like looking at a 40-year-old man, and then he comes over, hello there, how you doing? And it's just like, it just doesn't match, you know.
Huge barrel-chested Ray Winston.
Exactly. It would be like seeing Brian Blessed going, oh hello there. You know, it just doesn't match the body. And for that, I just. Yeah.
Brian Blessed's beard looks like it should be ravaging you, even if you just meet him with a casual hello.
Exactly. Oh, I love Brian Blessed. He's awesome. But yeah, that. And so yeah, I'm gonna.
Especially on QI, you've seen the story where he's talking about how he slept with a wolf, and everyone was making innuendos about oh I, and he just didn't get it at all, and he was. He was going, oh, we used to lay there and look into each other's eyes. You think, oh no.
Exactly. For him, it's just so. It's. You know, it'd be like sleeping with a grizzly bear and having an arm wrestle with a great white shark are just like such normal events. I mean, they don't even justify.
What is he? He's 70 or 80.
Yeah, he's just
black
done
belt
like
in
Ben
full
Nevis and
martial
stuff
arts.
like that.
He's gone up Everest.
He wants to go into
twice.
space next, doesn't he? He's been on the
Yeah, he's going into
centrifuge and
space
everything like
next.
that. He was on the centrifuge to a higher degree than most Russian astronauts could even manage. The guy's just invincible. It's
And the age of the man, he's a proper Olympian without the Olympics.
yeah,
Just-
he's just a legend. He's an absolute
Yeah.
legend. So yeah, enough of Brian Besselov. I just salute him. But yeah, I'm gonna give this game an 8.5, 9. I'm gonna go with the 9 because of the voice. And at the end of the day, this is a game that in the last couple of weeks I've played this game and have been as obsessed with it and have enjoyed it as much as playing Dying Light, which got a 10, so I think this game can at least justify a 9. That makes sense. And the funny thing is that I had this game ages ago, and I played a little bit and it was grand, it was fine. But I just stopped playing it, I thought, I'm not that fussed. It does like a free like weekend every now and again, and I would partake. But as it took a friend of mine coming online and starting to enjoy the game, which is a colleague which we were hoping would join us but didn't, to really get me into it, and now that he's got me into it,
exceptionally dark sense of humour.
yes, right, I know, it's such a shame because his dark sense would be fantastic on this video. Yeah, because of him, I'm now in a lot of trouble with my wife because I spent so much time playing this game.
If she doesn't love what you love,
and she doesn't love me because I love myself a lot. So yeah, so what about yourself?
self-love.
Self-love.
Self-love, but it's necessary love.
So I mean, this is, I have to, I can't give an unbiased, because I'm a fanboy, so I'm going to give it a high score. But as someone who's just come into it, who didn't play 11 but did play some of the Final Fantasies, where do you stand on this?
I was gonna just be well harsh, but I'm actually gonna have an honest think, because initially I'd just say 6, but it grows on me the more I play it, to be honest, and I do enjoy some of the leanings. I think border on possibly the sexually abusive, but
Yeah.
it's good. I can't bring myself to say an 8, and I think 7 might be a bit rude. I'm gonna go 7.5.
No, that's perfectly reasonable. I think it's so we usually bring our scores together, and so it would be, yeah, that sort of makes sense really. So I think I think it's important that we get the voice of reason, as it were, because I'm not saying yes, please game.
Ooh, I love that.
Ooh, well done. You got all shiny. I'm ages away from them.
I do quite like the Lancer. I think it does a ridiculous amount of damage. It's to absolutely eat through things.
It is a damage dealer.
I was watching our mutual friend play his Marauder the other day, and he was marauding everywhere, and that thing's supposed to be a tank.
He does Marauder a day long. Well, it is a slightly different class. The Marauder is pretty cool though. I've never got on with it, those too slow for me. That's why I prefer the Rogue or the Pugilist, which is where I started. It is good. You know what? I'm gonna We've ranted about the game. The game is awesome, and you should play it if you want to get into an RPG. But I have topics. I have other stuff I want to rant about. Do you have any topics today?
Topics? God no.
Good.
I'm lucky I'm awake.
Oh, you know what? And so the rants continue to start because today, actually, this is not the topic I want to talk about. You just reminded me. I had my first introduction to a coffee called Rocket Fuel. Have you tried that?
That sounds like it's going to scour my bowels.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, it's giving me a headache actually. But it's like a special uber strong coffee with added guarana and bat testicles or something. But it's I tell you what, it gave me a bit of a buzz actually, just for like a normal cup of coffee. It's a bit worrying.
Head as well. You absolutely love your coffee.
I do love my coffee.
Clear of Atari caffeine filled.
It is my sin. It is my I do do like a nice cup of coffee. I'm not like coffee obsessed. I only have like 2 or 3 cups a day.
I'm not with whiskey.
With biscuits. I know. Biscuits. Love biscuits.
Oh, with your biscuits. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You know, I love a jammy dodger.
You know, I said jammy dodger yesterday. Oh, love a jammy dodger. But the point for me is got to be biscuits and coffee. But no, this rocket fuel was good stuff. But no, that's not the topic I want to bring up. What I want to bring up is, actually, it was a good couple of rants ago now. I said that I had a topic I want to talk about, which happened in the shower.
Oh dear.
Yes. But it was the very end of the episode, so I didn't actually get to bring this topic up. But it is something I'm genuinely intrigued with, and I want to ask you this question, and I'll be intrigued to see if anybody else has the same thoughts as me. So I was in the shower, as was my wont when I'm dirty and I want to be clean. So
it's a quick and efficient method of achieving the state of cleanliness.
Yes, unfortunately it doesn't work in my mind, but it certainly works with my body, and that's the important thing. But I was in the shower, as was my wont, and I have the shower gel that I use is usually whatever's on special offer, because as we mentioned last time, I was as tight as a pair of Italian waiters' cakes. With the Red Dwarf reference there,
just as attractive,
and just the trousers. But nevertheless, what was on special offer at that time was the Nivea men's shower gel, the sensitive one. It's the white one. That's all. Actually, it's really good. It smells alright. It's a nice shower gel. But I was reading the bottle whilst I was in the shower, and what it says on it was, for body and hair. And I was like, well, that's sort of, what else is there? But then it had with bamboo extract, and my first thoughts were, yeah, get me some of that bamboo extract. And then it was followed by my second thought, which is, 1, how do you get bamboo extract, and 2, why is that important for my skin or hair? Maybe with pandas.
It's more attractive to pandas.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I was thinking. But as a person, why is that filling me full of excitement, and why should I be glad that it's in my shower gel? And then of course it just brings on the whole thought of anything else. I mean, we have
I like all the beauty products where they make up enzymes like butylase and and bollocks like that, and people go out and they buy and go, but it's full of butylase. Yeah, that enhances your beauty. Are you sure? Are you sure it's not just a made up load of wank?
You couldn't have said a truer word. I mean, this is I was thinking about it.
We did A-level chemistry. We know something about what we're talking about.
The only thing we did in A-level chemistry was give our chemistry teacher an asthma attack and a bit of a mental breakdown.
Yes. Yeah,
good times. Yes. Good times.
I miss A-level chemistry. I wish I concentrated.
I do. I likewise, because it was actually genuinely really interesting. Ooh, there's something over here. Which... this is one of those level 50 creatures. Don't go too close to it. Look at that. Look at that mahis.
No, it's not an armadillo.
No. It's part of my French.
Oh, it's a tentacle cat. Hello,
tentacle cat. Tentacle cat. Tentacle cat.
Will you eat me? Yes, you will eat me.
Don't eat me. There's a fate down here. Let's go to the fate. Fatey fate. Oh, it's a fatey fate, which is actually a bit beyond our level, so it should be.
Level 19 will be fine.
Really?
Just heal me.
Heal me. That's my job. So yeah. So meanwhile, back at the not point, because I've gone on a tangent on a tangent. But that is so. Why bamboo extract? Why is it good? Do you? I mean, what do you have in your shower gel? What do you have in yours?
Oh, I actually, my secret thing is I do like a posh shower gel, and I'm particularly fond of things like Original Source shower gels. Like
the minty one makes it everything so tingly.
Sea salt,
yeah,
extract, and I think it makes me smell amazing. I am possibly confusing that with the smell of lobster pot. But I love it, and there's things like that. I don't know. I can't feel the white tea extract doing it for me, nor have I ever poured white tea extract on myself, and by which I mean white tea.
But why is the tea so good?
Why is the tea so good? I think it's just for the aroma of it, really. But I quite like that. So in a way, I am taken in by the whole butylase type thing, but. At least with the ones I pick, they go, yeah, this has got salt in it. Like
this has salt in it. Salt is good because it makes you taste like chips.
Salt is a man smell. It smells like sweaty man.
That's what I like. The smell of what you sweat out is obviously water, toxins, and salt. So when you have salt in your shower gel, this is replace your body odor salt with different salt and salty salt.
Cleaner salt.
You know,
Salt
cleaner.
that hasn't gone off yet.
This is just expensive salt. Ultimately.
It's like what was it, Sheldon in The Big Bang Theory, when he was talking about these mineral waters and stuff, and people are buying echinacea extracts and iron supplements and things, and like, unless you're severely ill, this isn't really doing anything for your intake. All you're really doing is making very expensive urine.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the manganese and everything. That's classic.
Yeah,
but it's true though. It's true. It's like herbalism is all it is just water, more than not.
It's almost got me onto the topic of anti-vaxxers, but I had to bite my tongue and shy away from that topic.
Nah, man, go for it. Go nuts. I mean, the amount of
anti-vaxxers, what absolute fucking morons. Oh, this vaccine that's been tested to the nth degree, because if they didn't test it to the nth degree, they'd get sued.
Yeah.
Causes autism in my child. There's no statistical proof, but one crazy preacher said he reckoned it does.
I don't get me started on that.
So they don't vaccinate their children, and thus we lose our herd immunity to things like measles and rubella, and they go, oh yeah, but if they have measles and recover, they'll be fine, they'll be stronger. No, they won't. Measles can severely impair an immune system for life.
Yes, and at the end of the day, I mean, if everybody took these vaccines and just did it, we could have wiped out some of this stuff by now.
Oh yeah, easily. I mean, that's how we got rid of polio. But now, anti-vaxxers have actually caused a resurgence of polio in the States. Absolutely.
Well, I sometimes do find other people's stupidity a difficult thing to comprehend. But that's just my opinion. But it is a strong one and a correct one.
Stupidity in that case, but you could also apply it to morality. But then we were discussing this the other day: relativistic morality. One culture thinks it's perfectly acceptable to cut away some of a young girl's genitals, and that is morally right, whereas as a culture consider that to be wrong. Now, just because we are the dominant culture, because there's more of us and we've got bigger guns, does it mean that we actually have a right to curtail what their culture deems to be acceptable, morally acceptable?
Well, there is a particularly big and famous culture does it to guys, when for some reason that's slightly more socially acceptable than when you do it to women, but bypassing that one.
Oh well, yeah, exactly. You do it to guys, but damage that it causes to mostly
it's slightly different with women. It's I mean, let's be honest. It's just quite literally dead skin for us guys.
What they cut away the lady is the equivalent to removing the entire tip of the cock.
Yes, and although anything involving the penis is brain.
I mean, taking the skin off it is perfectly fine.
It just makes it look bigger.
It just makes it look South Park would have me believe.
Exactly, and of course, being the documentary that it is, I pretty much believe everything it says, like an episode of Q1.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. South Park is a documentary.
It does worry me that once again we've moved back onto the subject of sex. I mean, last episode did involve a lot of big hands, but that's because of the source material that I was using.
It's not really the subject of sex, is it? It just happens to be that.
Okay, it's not. You're right. It doesn't involve the act of sex.
I get quite angry.
No, I do agree with your statement. It's an interesting debate to have. But
what was the one which really wound me up?
What I want to know. No, go for it.
The one that really wound me up was the whole subject. I don't know if you ever saw this story, but a burglar broke into a shop in Russia. The owner lived above the shop. The owner knocked out the burglar, strapped them down to the bed, gave them drugs, and then raped them repeatedly for a week. Now, okay, if the burglar is female and the owner of the shop is male, he's a monster. But the reality of it was, the owner of the shop was female and the burglar was male. The drug that she kept giving him was Viagra, and for some reason, that's hilarious.
It's hilarious. Why doesn't that happen to me? I need to start burgling more shops.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of...
It's a very dominant thing to do. So rare for a woman to do it.
Violence against a man as being fine.
I think it's fantastic. I mean, I'll be all up for it. Just if there's any women out there who
quality point of view, it shouldn't. If
we're
angry of a woman being raped, we should be angry that a man gets raped.
Exactly. Well, it's just not
at rape.
No, exactly. Well, it's not acceptable under any circumstances. But if you are a woman out there and you do, have these urges, just write into PO box.
To rape, a young man
who's winning an able, and therefore I don't know if it's raping. No, definitely. Where was I? Yes, no. Well, actually, that reminds me. I listened to or watched another video podcast which I do very much enjoy, called it's Eorzea Crochet, is the guy from The Escapist, and there's one called Let's Drown Out with Gabriel. It's fantastic. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's fantastic. It's just so funny. But the Gabriel has this theory, which I think is fantastic, which is to dress up like a woman, but sort of hunched, really sort of vulnerable, like in the middle of the woods, kind of thing like that. And then when the guy comes over to try and rape him, well, we're thinking it's a her, of course, he'll just turn around, take off his jacket, broaden out his shoulder, and goes, "Reverse rape!" Which I think is a fantastic idea, because he's right. One, no one would ever go to the police, because you wouldn't. And so
I was walking in the woods, and this man leapt at me, screaming "reverse rape!"
Exactly.
All I was doing was approaching what I thought was a young lady to see if she was lost.
Well, it could be. I was just in the woods looking to rape an innocent young woman, and I ended up being reverse raped by this massive guy. I think that's just.
When you leap out naked from behind the vegetables, shouting "surprise sex."
Exactly.
Does that make it okay?
Well, exactly, but it's slightly different. But I think and he's right, that guy would never do it again. You've cured that one rapist.
But of course, it does depend on the rapist, because the rapist might just go, "Oh, it's a bloke. Well, I'll knock him out." And away we go.
Exactly. Well, of course.
I was just out for the action, or out for the gender.
Exactly. Or even worse, if it was a bisexual, was like, "Oh, even better. Yummy." Okay. But you're right. I mean, rape. There was of course that big controversy. I've forgotten how to say the word. I've had two. Thank you. Too many of the Highland Parks really. Controversy about there's rape and there's rape, which I think unfortunately we don't have enough time today for I think such a deep and profound theorem.
Yeah, and it will just get me screaming bloody spittle and bile at the screen for no reason other than winds me up beyond belief.
Exactly.
But, oh, look, things. Let's start.
I know this is a fate. Let's get all fatey. I think after this fate we'll probably be wrapping up actually. So let's try not to do anything too. Let's try not to, like we usually do, get into a really deep and profound topic right before and then we get a chance to discuss it. But no, I'm so glad to have you back. I must admit that these videos just aren't the same doing with solo. So thank you for coming and joining us today.
Without me?
Have you not watched it yet?
No, not yet. I watched the ones with me in.
Oh, it's so vain. It's so vain. Go and watch it. I'm not going to spoil. I'll tell you what the name of the game is. Oh, but it's called Sakura Spirits. And my clue earlier was with regards to Japanese games and large hands. I think you're going to enjoy the episode. It's not as good, obviously, as when we do it together because I've got no one to rant and bounce off. But it's
You just have to make up imaginary characters.
Well, to be honest with you, I was just distracted by what was on the screen all the time. It was just half an hour of me drooling into my own lap. Depressingly. But yeah, that was my topic. I just want to ask the world what is about shower gel. It's because that's just my thing. It's been bugging me ever since I came across it, and I just want to know where people get these crazy ideas from. And in a way, actually, that kind of links to the other topic, of course, which is Where, at what point did someone go, cutting these bits off is better for the religion?
Is a good thing. Well, a lot of you know, the old Judaism and the circumcision and stuff. A lot of what's recommended in their holy book basically boils down to hygiene. Like, don't eat pig because you don't know where it's been.
Yeah, it goes off, and you know, and let's be honest, you know, you're traveling across, you know, we're going across a lot of desert here. You don't want sand in there, you know.
Yeah. And also, it saves you washing underneath it, which cuts down on the old cock rot.
Lovely mental image. I haven't heard that expression for us.
Had this thing and ask them how it feels.
It can't be nice.
Wrong. I'm not feeling anyone's bits.
You know, I haven't heard cock since our school days. This is fantastic. Oh dear, that's tickled me. That's tickled me right in the right where you get the cock. I don't get cock in the Pyrenees, although that is a place I do like to get tickled.
That's a note for you ladies out there.
Well, yeah, these women who like to rape burglars. So let's say, you know where to find me. It's on Final Fantasy.
I must admit, the first thing I thought about when I heard that was, oh, only in Russia.
Was it in Russia?
Yeah, it was in Russia.
Ooh, I've got loads of experience with that. I'm actually pretty close to the next level. Right, you know,
is that an action we can do? Wave.
We can wave. Oh no. I can psych into a bush. I'm psyching into a bush. And I can cheer you on. And I can fume. Oh. I am fuming. Looks like I'm constipated. With me doing that in the bush, like, that feels better.
Angry. Oh. You are frustrated.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I'm stood in a bush.
I'm still in a bush exam myself.
The graphics in this are good, aren't they? Look at that.
We are clearly getting pretty bored, aren't we? Just going through all the different things.
Oh, don't slap me.
Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, no. As I say, we really should be winding this down. So, any final words? Any final thoughts?
Don't rape. It's bad.
Don't rape. It's bad.
Also, yeah, don't do drugs unless you can get away with it. And this game's fun. At least play it for the free trial.
Definitely. And if you enjoy it, then keep playing it. That's my opinion. But no, I think that's an excellent statement to end on. So we are now an hour in, so I think it's time to end it. So I will say thank you, my co-pistaker, for joining me today. Thank you all for watching. And if you are out there and you're thinking of raping someone, think again, because you could be the reverse raper. So
he exists.
He exists.
Along with Slender Man and the Rake.
Exactly.
Those are things worth looking up on YouTube.
You know what? You're actually just thinking, if you're going to go out there and rape, what do you have to do? And it's your favourite word. You always end every single video with it.
I cannot remember.
Stay lucky.
Stay lucky. Every video with that.
You pretty much do. So if you're going to go out and rape, you gotta
awesome. Stay lucky.